Hi YouTube, this is Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. Today I want to take a moment and talk about some updates. Obviously there have been lots of changes in the world since my last video. And then I want to give you some tips about what to do with your skincare while you're possibly stuck at home like we are currently. I think everybody right now is talking about the virus and all the different social distancing. It seems like there are degrees of seriousness when it comes to the virus prevention measures across the globe. Some countries are on complete shutdown, and here in the United States, it seems to vary state by state. We're in the Midwest. We had our first case here where I live, I think on March 11th, maybe March 10th. It was right before my daughter's birthday. Both of my kids' birthdays are in March. Thankfully, we were able to have my daughter's birthday. She turned 6. We had her party. It was before schools shut down and before really things started to get pretty serious around here. She actually cares about her birthday, obviously, and so I think she would have been very sad if she couldn't have the party. So we were able to do it because it was before things really ramped up. My son just turned 1 today, and he doesn't care. And we weren't planning on a party for him anyway, so we did exactly what we were going to do anyway. We got a cake, and we had my parents over, and we just had a very small gathering because I think while first birthdays of course are important, I think parental stress management is also important, and organizing parties, especially if that involves cooking and or cleaning, that just stresses me out, and while I can get away with keeping it simple, I usually take that option. As you might know, I'm an accountant. I'm a special kind of accountant. I'm a cost accountant, so I have nothing to do with taxes or anything of that nature, but I am able to work from home. So for a week now, a week and 1 day, no, a week? Just a week, I guess. Everything's blending together. But for a week now, I worked from home from my basement. My husband, however, is considered essential as far as in-person work, so he's been going in, and it's an interesting feeling. I always think of partners or wives or husbands of firefighters, emergency response personnel, nurses, doctors, the military. I always think of those spouses as having to sit home and worry about their significant other being out there on the front lines, and I never thought that I would have to worry about something like that being married to an IT person. But as the world is moving toward telecommuting and work from home, IT now is more essential than ever, so he is still having to go in, and they have certain measures that they take to try and keep everybody safe. We're just a few days behind Kansas City, it seems like, in our measures, and Kansas City is locking down as of Tuesday next week, and I would expect some sort of announcement about that, about my town or my city, probably coming Monday as well. So we'll see. I'm very grateful that we are in a position that he can still keep working and maybe eventually work from home, and I am able to work from home. So far we haven't lost any income, like I know a lot of people are struggling with that right now. And that's almost as scary, I think, as the virus itself. From the emotional standpoint, obviously I wouldn't wish this situation on anybody with a global pandemic that we have going on, but I see personally a lot of benefits to having to be at home. I am what I would consider a well-adjusted introvert, and while I like some social contact, I can go days and weeks without leaving my house and it doesn't bother me. In the last week, I left my house only a couple times for absolutely necessary things, and honestly leaving was a bit uncomfortable just because of all the germs and so much laundry when you come back and having to basically take all those clothes off and wash them and all of those things. But I don't miss, as of yet, actually going to the office for work. It's only been 1 week, and of course kind of recently I had maternity leave, so I was at home more or less for 12 weeks. I also think though there's a difference between being home willingly and maybe letting weeks go by without leaving because you don't want to, and being home and knowing that you're not supposed to leave. There's some sort of mental pressure sometimes, or some kind of stress to just knowing that you can't leave. For example, if you tell somebody, hey, no matter what you do not think about a monkey with a red butt, like the first thing they're gonna do is picture a monkey with a red butt. So try to not obsess over the fact that you can't or shouldn't leave. Try to find things to entertain yourself with or keep productive or whatever works for you. Okay, with all of that little extended check-in, let's talk about skincare while you're potentially stuck at home. The first couple days, I honestly didn't do much at all. I work pretty early in the morning in general, and right now it's no different. So I would wake up, eat breakfast, drink my coffee, and go to the basement and work. Wow, for a couple days that was okay, but honestly, my skin was showing it almost right away. I started to get some congested pores and other things. So here's my recommendation. I'm not a dermatologist, not a cosmetologist. This is just works for me. I actually try to keep as normal of a routine with some exceptions while I am home. What I've been doing now is either first thing in the morning or after breakfast, just whatever works better that day. I will use a toner pad or sometimes rinse my face, or if it's really feeling like there's a lot of overnight skincare still left on it, I might wash it, but usually just a toner pad is enough. I wipe off any remaining overnight skincare, and then I apply either an extra layer of toner or some essence, and then some kind of light cream because it's a little dry. We run the humidifier, but still the air is a little bit dry. The heat is still working. We had hail just a couple days ago, so it's still cold outside, kind of hot, dry heat on the inside and doors. And then here's the most important thing. After that, I put on SPF. And do you need SPF if you're inside the house? Yes. If you have windows, you need SPF. But even if you don't have windows, let's just say it's 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. you need to get out. Maybe you want a breath of fresh air, or maybe you need to get the mail, or whatever it may be. I don't know about you, but for me, it's kind of outside of my routine to be applying SPF, let's say at noon or at 1. I usually do it in the morning, and if I'm home all day or whatever, I might not think to reapply it, but still mentally I'm so used to having at least that morning layer of SPF on. So I think by putting on some sunscreen in the morning, you at least offer some protection to your skin for the day. We have lots of windows, and windows do not block UVA rays, so you definitely want sunscreen on for that, but also just some random occasional walks or trips to the mailbox, like I said. Maybe it's better, or of course it's better, to reapply sunscreen before you do that, but I don't think of that. That's not part of my habit. And so whatever I applied a few hours before is still better than no sunscreen at all. So I urge you to please still do your morning skincare routine, even if it's a simplified one, and then put on sunscreen. What I do also urge you to simplify for now, if you can, is skip decorative makeup. Just give your skin a vacation. Decorative makeup, while wonderful and has many benefits from aesthetics, just boosting our self-esteem, plus it's fun and it's pretty, it's not necessarily the best thing for the skin. And it's so nice to just take a breather, take a vacation from decorative makeup. Today is the first time I put on anything makeup related since last Thursday, and it's Sunday right now. It's been well over a week, and honestly, it makes my evening skincare routine so much easier because I don't have to worry about taking eye makeup off, which is usually a separate step for me because the mascara I have is waterproof. So if you can at all, skip decorative makeup, let your skin kind of breathe and relax. I know pores don't actually breathe. This is obviously a figure of speech. If you are mentally struggling with all of this COVID, need to stay home, social distancing thing right now, and if the act of putting on makeup keeps you have that sense of routine, and it gives you some kind of calm feeling that things are as normal as they possibly could be right now, then sure, go for it. Do whatever works best for you. But if you don't normally care about that part of putting makeup on, then maybe just give your skin some rest and see how you feel. My evening skincare really hasn't changed at all. And probably a huge part of that is typically quarantine and social distancing aside, my afternoons right now go pretty much the same way as they have in the past. I only work half days right now because that's what is best for our family for the time being. And that was true for the last like half a year, actually, probably the last 9 months. So that's nothing new. So I'm usually home in the afternoons, and so that hasn't changed at all. And at night, it's a little bit of me time. That's when I can shut the bathroom door, can fill my bathtub, I can take the time to double cleanse and do a mask here and there or a peeling gel or both. And so that really hasn't changed. If being home or being on this quarantine is really throwing off your routine to where you don't really feel like or don't want to do anything in the evening, perhaps I would encourage you to still do double cleansing and at least some basic moisturizing, because your skin will thank you. This will eventually end. Things will eventually go back to normal. We'll eventually be leaving the house and going to work and going to the movies and going wherever else extroverts go. And it would be wonderful to just come out of this looking as good as we can in terms of having healthy skin. So please, 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 in the mornings, wear SPF. And please, 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 at night, cleanse your face and use at least a basic moisturizer. Also, I think spending the time massaging the cleansing oil on the skin and doing face masks and peeling gels and some other treatments, whatever works for you, I think that can take at least my mind off constantly neurotically checking the news, reading the latest conspiracy theory, reading the latest model of the spread of this disease and how the gun sales are going up, and oh my goodness, I start thinking crazy things. And I think we just all collectively need to take a step back. Obviously, I think we should all take this seriously, do the social distancing, only leave when necessary, and so forth. I am not downplaying the gravity of the situation for the world and especially those in risk groups. But I don't think panicking, freaking out, compulsively checking news feeds is going to help anybody. A lot of health problems can be triggered by stress. And I don't think ramping up our stress response by obsessively checking all these updates is going to be helpful. So, if doing some eye patches and a face mask takes your mind off of the current state of the world, at least for a bit, then I think that's a good thing. Relax, take care of yourself, find some positives in this. Let me know in the comments how you're spending your time, especially if you are somebody who cannot work from home. If you are stuck at home, but you're currently not working, or if you're taking PTO or sick time or whatever. I know there's some wonderful countries, not this country, but there's some wonderful countries that are giving their citizens a couple weeks of paid time just to stay home. So if you're seriously stuck home with quote unquote nothing to do, let me know how you're filling your days. Like I said, my life really hasn't changed from the business standpoint. Yes, I don't spend any time commuting to work right now, but I don't really spend much time commuting anyway. My work is fairly close to my house, but still there's some time savings in that regard. But in general, I still work just as many hours as I normally do, and I take care of my children in the afternoons just like I normally do. This last week that just is ending now was my daughter's spring break, so they wouldn't have had school anyway, but now, of course, they're not going back to school until at least April 30th or possibly later. So I'm not sure how homeschooling will go. I'm not the best at teaching anybody, so hopefully the wonderful teachers and staff at her school have some kind of plan in place to help all of us parents out, because Suddenly, overnight, so many of us are becoming teachers. You may have noticed that this video had absolutely no specific product recommendations, and that's for a reason. We all have different skin, and what I was talking about here today really doesn't have anything to do with specific products. Do what works for your skin type, and for your skin condition, for your budgets, and just for your life. If you're curious to see what I have, I did post a mega video last week. It is an hour long and it has so many things. It is a bathroom tour of everything I have that is currently open. Of course, I don't use everything all at once or on the same day, but it's more than 45 products with brief reviews about every one of them. And hopefully you can find something there that is helpful to you if you're curious about specific things. But in general, the main takeaways is don't forget to sunscreen, and don't forget to cleanse your face, and don't forget to moisturize. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if not helpful, maybe entertaining. Please leave me a comment, let me know that you watched it, let me know what you think, let me know what kind of content you would like to see in the future. You can find me on my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, and I also have a Facebook group called Korean Beauty Fanatics where you can join and post your own reviews and ask questions and find lots of people who are also interested in Korean and Japanese beauty. We have a little bit over 4,500 members already, so it's been growing really lovely and wonderfully, and I would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next Saturday because I'll probably still be home, just like all of us. Anyway, until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you very much.